Hello students. So in the previous class we were discussing about that of the question answer of the chapter, that is water. Okay, so we go through that of the fill in the blank student and as well as that of the true false as well as the statement which is related to that of the evaporation and condensation. Now in this class also we will continue with the question answers that is given in the NCERT. So you see here student, the fifth question is take out a cooled water bottle from refrigerator and keep it on a table. After some time, you notice a puddle of water around it. Why? Now you see here student, this is very much similar to that of the demonstration that we had done with the glass of water consisting of an iceberg. So what we had done student, we had taken that glass consisting of the iceberg and when you keep it undisturbed for 5 minutes, you will see the water puddle or that of the water droplets are present on the surface of the glass, and you know that what is the reason behind it. It is due to the process of condensation. Here also it occurs the same. Okay, so you see here student, the question is that if we take out the cooled water bottle from the refrigerator and keep it on a table. Okay, so what will happen? What happened after that when you keep it left undisturbed for some time on the table? You will find that there is a formation of the water droplet or water puddle around the surface of that of the water bottle. Okay, so we can say that since you take out the water bottle and that bottle is very cool, so at that time it is having very cool surface, and why is it so? It is because it was kept in the fridge where the temperature is very low. So the water vapor which is present around it, as it comes near to that of the cool water bottle, so it will get condensed into that of the water puddle and get spread over the surface of the water bottle. So it is due to the process of the condensation student. So water vapor which is present around the air, it will get condensed as it comes near to the surface of the water bottle and thus spread as a water droplet, as a water puddle on the surface of the water bottle. So we can say the surface of the bottle is cool. Thus, due to cool surface, the water vapor around the atmosphere reaches near to the surface of the water bottle and condenses to water puddle. Okay, and finally student it get and finally spread over the surface of water bottle. Okay, so these puddle, okay, which is formed due to the condensation process, this will get spread over the surface of the water bottle student. So basically what happened when you take out the water bottle from that of the fridge and kept it left undisturbed for some time, then you will find that due to the process of the condensation, the water vapor which is present around the atmosphere, as it comes to near to that of the surface of the water bottle, since the temperature is So thus it will get converted into that of the water puddle and spread over the water, that of the surface of the water. Okay student, so we can say that this process occurred due to that of the condensation. Okay, it is the result of that of the condensation process, students. Now we will see the next question, student, and the next question it said that to clean their spectacles, people often breathe out in glass to make them wet. Explain why the glasses become wet. So you have seen that people, they used to take their glasses and they used to breathe out. Okay, so when they breathe out, why the glasses it becomes wet, and the people, they used to clean their spectacles by breathing out, students. So basically, to understand the students, you see that when a person breathe out, that breathe contains the gases in it, and that gases contains the water vapor. So you can write that while breathing out, or the breath consisting of the gases which is having water vapor in it. Water vapor in it. So these breathe out, when we breathe out, that consisting of the gases which comes out when we breathe, and that is having the water vapor in it, and this water vapor on the spectacles, it condenses to the water droplets. Okay, so as it gets condensed, so these gases it get condenses and get converted into that of the water droplets, and finally this water droplet help in making the spectacle wet, and it will be very easy for us to clean the spectacles. So we can write it, the breath consisting of the gases which is having water vapor in it, and as the water vapor comes to surface of spectacles, gets converted water droplets, making the spectacle wet. Okay, so it help in making the spectacle wet, and thus we can say it will be easy for the people to wipe it off or to clean the spectacles. So how the spectacles become wet, student? It is because of the breath that we take out, and the breath consisting of the gases which in turn consisting of the vapor, or we can say the gases which comes out from the breath consisting of the water vapor also. When this water vapor falls on the surface of that of the spectacles, it get converted into that of the water droplets. It make the surface of the glass wet, and thus it will be very easy for us to wipe off the that of the spectacle, students. Okay. Now the next question is that how are clouds formed, students? Okay, so when we were talking about that of the water cycle, students, so we discussed that the formation of the clouds also, and in that only we discussed that how the water vapor it get evaporated, reaches to that of the higher altitude where the temperature is low, and as the temperature is low, what will happen? This water vapor will finally get converted into teeny droplets of water, and the teeny droplets of water, they combine with the other teeny drops of other droplets of water and form the clouds. So we can say that when the sunlight it falls on the surface of the water body, this water body, the surface of the water get evaporated due to the heat coming to from that of the sunlight, this water, it absorbs the heat and finally get evaporated in the form of water vapor. As water vapor reaches to higher altitude, there the temperature is low and finally what will happen? It will get converted into the tiny droplets, and that tiny droplets is basically we call them as a cloud, student. So we can write that cloud is for, student, how the cloud formation occurs. So when the water present on the earth evaporates due to heating of sun. Okay, so the first step in the formation of the cloud is the students that the water which is present on the earth, it evaporates due to the heating of the sun. Then what will happen? This water vapor reaches to high altitude where the temperature is low. Okay, so the second one is this water vapor, as it goes to a higher altitude, at higher altitude the temperature is very low, and due to which what happened? Due to which water vapor condenses to water droplets. Okay, so we can say it get converted into that of the teeny water droplets, and these teeny water droplets form due to the evaporation at a higher altitude, that is a cloud. So we can say that these teeny water droplets formed due to evaporation at a higher altitude forms cloud. Okay, student, so this is the answer that how the clouds are formed. It forms clouds. Okay, so how the cloud formation occurs, student? You can write in this step also that the first step is the evaporation, in which the water which is present with the water surface, or the water which is present on the earth, that is of the water bodies of the sea and ocean. As the sunlight fall on it, it become heated, it become hot, and thus you know that it get converted into water to water vapor, and that is the process of evaporation. And finally what happens, as it get evaporated, it means it get changes to that of the water vapor, and this water vapor reaches to the higher altitude. As it reaches to the higher altitude, students, the temperature is low, comparatively low. Okay, and as the temperature is low, this water vapor again get converted into the water droplets, and the teeny water droplet which is formed due to the evaporation at a higher altitude, it forms that of the cloud. So teeny droplets, they combine together and they form the cloud. So whenever the question is asked, either you can write it in your points or you can write it simply and explain that how clouds are formed. Now we will move to the next question of this chapter. Next question is, student, that when does a drought occur? Okay, so if you see here, student, drought and that of the flood that we had discussed, students. So basically what happened when we say the drought, it means there is the scarcity of water. If suppose we say that of the flood, it means the excessive rainfall occur in that particular region. So we can write the answer that how does drought occur? When there is no rainfall occurs for a long period or for many years. There is a scarcity of water leads to drought. So we can say, student, that how the drought condition occur when there is a low rainfall for a certain period of a time or for a long period of a time, as well as for many years there is a problem, there is a shortage of water, there is a scarcity of water, it will cause the drought. If the question is asked that when does a flood occur, student, so you will write that when there is an excessive rainfall occur, and due to which what will happen, a lot of water will be there present and surrounding to that of the city, or the reason it will cause the flood. So drought occur when there is no rainfall occur for a long period of a time, or for many years there is a problem with that of the water, there is a scarcity of the water. So you can write any one, student. If you write the no rainfall occur for a long period of a time, that is also correct. It is because if there will be no rainfall for a long period of a time, then it will lead to the scarcity of water in that particular reason. Now, student, we will see some of the important questions from this chapter, that is water. So there are some extra questions, there are some important questions which is related to this chapter, students. And that is, if you see the first question, and that is the why ocean water is not suitable for the domestic use. Okay, so you know that we use water for the domestic purpose, for drinking, for bathing, for cleaning. Okay. But if we talk about that of the ocean water, we don't take it, we don't use it for that of the domestic use. Okay, we use the fresh water, we use that of the river water or the lake or pond water or groundwater for the domestic purpose, for that of the domestic use. So why? What is the reason that we are not using the ocean water? So you know that, student, answer first one is that ocean water or that of the sea water is a saline water. Saline water, it means consisting of a salt in it. Okay, so ocean water or that of the sea water, also known as the marine water. So this marine water, it means it consisting of a salt in it. And since it is consisting of a salt in it, we cannot use for that of the drinking purpose, we cannot use for any of the domestic use. So we can write it, ocean water is a saline water. It means consisting of salt in it, thus cannot be used for domestic purpose or domestic use. Okay, so since it consisting of a salt in it, it is a salty water, so we can say that we cannot use it for the domestic use. Now if we see the next question, students, so the next question, it says that why does water split on the floor disappear after some time? So if you take a glass of water and throw it on the floor, and after some time what you will see that there is no water present on the surface, present on the floor. Why is this so, students? So as we were discussing in the evaporation only, we discussed this example also, that this water which gets split on the floor, which gets split on the floor, gets evaporated and thus disappear after some times. Okay, so since the water which is split on that of the floor, students, so as it spread on the floor, the water, it takes the heat from the floor and finally it will get evaporated in the form of a water vapor, and thus we will say that it get disappear and after some time just because of this evaporation process. Now we will see some more questions. Next question is that how does a heavy rainfall affect us, and how does the failure of the rainfall affect the people on the earth? I think that both of them are opposite to each other. In the first question, it has been asked that how does excessive rainfall, how does a heavy rainfall affect the life of the people, and in the next one it is asked that how does the failure, if there will be no rainfall occur, how it will going to affect the people living on the earth. So we will start with that of the answer third, student. Then what will happen if the excessive rainfall will occur on the earth? So we can write it that heavy rainfall or effects of a heavy rainfall may cause heavy rainfall may cause. The first one, it will cause the water logging. So we can say that water logging or water logged and flood. Okay. Then the next one, flood causes loss of property and lives. Okay, so it will cause the loss of property as well as life. Then next one is that rise of the water level, rise of the water level in river and dams. Okay, so first of all, water logging and flood is the first point. Water logging and flood. Flood, it causes the loss of property and life, students. So you see here, student, water logging, since the level of the water it increases, and due to which there will be the water logging on the road, and I told you that because of that it will cause a lot of accident. Okay, as well as if the level of the water will be more, then what will happen, student? It will cause the flood. Okay, so flood will be caused because of the water logging. Rise over level of the water causes the flood. Now as the flood causes, the flood will be there, it will also shows the impact, and what kind of impact it will show? It will cause the loss of property and lives of the people, students. And finally, the rise of the water will occur because the rainfall will be there. So the water bodies, including that of the river as well as the dams, so the level of the water it get increases. Okay, so these are the causes, these are the effect caused by that of the heavy rainfall, students. Okay, now we will see the next one, and that is the what happen if there will be failure of the rainfall occurs. Okay, so if there will be scarcity of water or less rainfall occurs. So we can write it, failure of rainfall may cause So what is the first effect, student? The soil, it becomes dry and patchy. So we can write it, soil becomes dry and patchy. The second one is the water level. Next one is the water level of the different water bodies from which we get the water, which is the source of the water. The water of these water bodies, including that of the rivers or lakes or ponds. So the water of the river, lakes and ponds may fall down or even dry up. Okay? Even dry up, students. Okay, so this is the next one, that water level, or we can say the water of that of the river, lakes, ponds, it may fall down, and due to which you will say that sometimes it becomes so low that it may result into drying up of that water body. Not only this, student, there is another very important point in it, and that is the groundwater. So we can say the level of the groundwater also falls down. Okay, so these are the three different failure of the rainfall, which is the failure of the effect of that of the failure of the rainfall. Also, student, we can write the other points also, like just because of the less rainfall, there will be less amount of water will be present in the soil, and ultimately it will affect the irrigation also. So it will cause the shortage of the food. Okay, so scarcity of water plus shortage of the food also occur. So we can write the fourth point also, that is failure of rainfall affects irrigation and thus leads to shortage of food. So these are the different effects of the failure of the rainfall. Okay, soil becomes dry and patchy, water, level of the water bodies, it falls down, and this much falls down, student, that it may result into the drying up of the water bodies, okay, including the river, lake or the ponds. As well as the land of the level of that of the groundwater, the level of the groundwater, it also falls down. So you know that the rainfall is responsible for recharging that of the groundwater, students. Okay, so if there will be no rainfall, what will happen? We are continuously consuming the groundwater. Okay, so for our domestic use, we are using the groundwater, and if there will be no rainfall, no replenishment, or we can say there will be no seepage of the water which occur due to the rainfall. So since the groundwater will not get recharged again, thus the level of the groundwater will fall down. As well as since there will be low rainfall, student, the soil will be not able to take the moisture, it will not consisting the moisture, or we can say the proper amount of water, or the crops which are totally dependent on that of the rainfall will not going to grow properly, and finally it will lead to the shortage of the food. So these are the different impacts of the failure of the rainfall, and finally you know that it will cause the drought also. Okay. If you see the next question, student, next question, it's a very easy one, that is the mention two main function of the water for the living organism. Although we had discussed a lot of function of that of the water, here we have to write any of the two main function, and that function of the water should be suitable, should be related to that of the living organism, that how water is essential for the living organism. Although we know that we used to do all the things, our daily life activities with the help of the water. The two main functions that we have to write it, students, you can write anything which is related, any of the function of the water which is related to that of the living organism. So you see the first one, if we consider that of the plant, students, so you know that plant, they need water very much. Why is this so? To carry the process of photosynthesis, water plays a very important role. So we can say plants needs water to carry the process of photosynthesis. So they need water to carry the process of photosynthesis, and you know that the result of the photosynthesis will the starch, that is the food of the plant. So we can say that plants survive just because of the water, student. Water also plays a very important role in the survival of the plant. The second one is, student, although we use a lot of a thing, our day-to-day life, we are totally dependent on the water, but you see, for this transportation of the goods, we are dependent on the water. So water helps in transportation of goods. Okay, so it helps in the transportation of goods. You see, the student, plant need water to carry the process of photosynthesis as well as for germination of seeds. So we can say that it will help in the germination of seeds. Okay, so seed get germinated just because of the water. So it helps in carrying the process of photosynthesis as well as it helps in germinating that of the seed. Next one is the water. It helps in the transportation of goods as well as people. Okay, so it acts as a means of transport, student, in which the goods as well as the people, they used to go from one place to the another. So this is the two main function of the water for the living organism. Although you can write the other function also, but here two main functions which is related to the living organism has been asked in the question. So I have written this. The first one is related to the plant, in which the plant, they need water for the germination and process of photosynthesis by which it makes the food. And the next one is used by the human being as a means of transport for carrying the people as well as for carrying the goods. Okay, so it helps in exporting and importing the goods from one country to the other country. Okay, so these are some of the important questions of this chapter of water.